Hi, I'm Marty Rourke, Sports Information Coordinator here at Bishop's University. Joining me today, head coach of the men's basketball team, Rod Gilpin. Welcome, Rod.
Hi, Marty. Good to be here.
Rod, you had an outstanding run this year, ultimately coming up just a little short in the RSEQ final. Touch a little bit on the season.
Well, obviously, it was a good turnaround for our program this year. We finished with 21 wins overall and had a record of 18-9 versus CIS competition. We had a chance to play some of the better teams in the CIS and had faced 3 or 4 of the teams that actually played in the CIS Final 8. Um, you know, the best part of the year was we had a great group of guys to work with. The buy-in was phenomenal. Um, they worked hard. They had great team chemistry, and they were easy to coach.
Great. And leading into that RSEQ final, we saw some great support from the alumni coming back. Now, especially on Twitter, Facebook, there was a lot of support. What does that mean to the Bishop's Gaiters basketball team?
Well, I mean, I think Bishops has always been a place where, the community and the alumni and the students have been very supportive of athletics. It's no surprise to be followed all over the world now with the social media, with the, Bishops alumni being, literally across the world. In the RSCQ final, I think that we played in a packed gym at McGill, and close to half the gym had to be Gators fans. So that was, not surprising, but it's always something that's very welcomed.
For sure. Just electric night there in Montreal. The Gators cleaned up the RSEQ hardware this year. Mike Andrews was the league MVP, as well as the second team All-Canadian and RSEQ All-Star. Jeremy Leonard-Smith, RSEQ All-Star. Jonah Bermillo, All-Rookie team, as well as Tim Hunter being the Ken Shields nominee for the second straight year, and yourself the RSEQ Coach of the Year. The players, what did they mean to the team this year?
Well, I think Mike Andrews has always been, he's always had the potential. I think he worked hard last summer, came back, stronger, had worked on his skills, and I told him in the summer that if he'd worked hard, he potentially could be a league MVP. At 6'10", with the body and the skills he has, and the feel for the game, he can be a dominant force, and he was for most of the year, but. Yet he's still only scratched the surface of his potential. I think there's a lot more to come from Mike. Jeremy Leonard-Smith has been a starter on our team since his first year. He earned his opportunity as a defensive player, and he's become a much better offensive player. He's worked hard at his game, and he's certainly one of our team leaders. Jonah Bermillo stepped up, took advantage of an opportunity to play as a freshman. He played both the point guard position and the shooting guard position for us this year, and had a chance to start some games when we had some injuries. And he's the guy that really stepped up and I think really has us excited about how he's going to play next year. Tim Hunter, the only guy we lose off this year's team. Tim's been great representative of Bishop's basketball for 5 years. I think a lot of what we're going to, we don't realize how much we're going to miss Tim, or we won't realize how much we're going to miss Tim until we start playing again next year. Did a lot of things that they don't always show up in a score sheet, and he's just a phenomenal guy off the court. Regarding the Coach of the Year award, I think that's definitely a program award. It's a product of our guys working hard and being coachable and having team, having great buy-in, as well as our assistant coaches working together and working hard throughout the season.
Congratulations to you and to all the All-Star winners this year. Now, I know we talked a little bit about him, and in your point guard, Scott Ring was left off the All-Star teams, but obviously a huge contributor for you.
Well, I think Scott's been our heart and soul all year. Here's a guy who played probably 23, 24 minutes in the championship final before fouling out. He'd been on crutches for the 2 days before the final. With a knee injury that he sustained in the semifinal against Concordia. He's got a big heart, works hard, great leader, and has really developed in his time here. And it's he deserves all the credit. He's really put in the time to become a good CIS player.
With league play and now the CIS championship ultimately behind us, I assume you're turning to recruiting now. How's that been going?
I think recruiting's pretty much an ongoing thing. That's 12 months a year, but yeah, I think we're very focused on recruiting at this point. With us having a successful season and drawing some positive attention, it's been a little easier to get out there and draw the interest of some of the better players around. We have some commitments from some players we think that are going to help our program, and I think we have an opportunity to grab a couple more players before the recruiting is done. We hope that we'll find a couple of guys who will contribute next year, but also add depth to our program and make us strong for years to come.
After such a heartbreaking RSEQ final loss, what was your message to the team going into this off season? What can they work on over the summer?
Well, I think we were on the right track last year. With the injuries, we just didn't quite have the depth against McGill in that final. They played great. I thought we played an excellent first half in that game, and I think that loss really still stings. And it hurt a lot, and said to our guys, the reason it hurt so much is that they'd put so much into the season. We talked about nothing's guaranteed next year. Just because we were here last year doesn't mean we can just assume that we'll be where we are in the coming season. So we're gonna have to work hard in the off season, get better at the things that we've been pushing throughout the year, and just sort of be motivated to make sure that we can take it one step further next season.
And finally, before we let you go, I know it's still early and last year just ended, but what can Bishop's Gaiters basketball fans look for in the 2013-2014 campaign?
And I think the key to our success this season was the fact that our returning guys came back as better players. And with that in mind, we're only going to graduate one player in Tim Hunter, who's a big loss to our program. But I think we have a solid core returning, and as long as those guys, work hard in the off season, I think we'll have a very solid team next year. I would expect that we'll compete for our league title again next season, and hopefully we can be a team that's going to be consistently ranked in the top 10 and make a push at the national level.
Thank you very much, Coach. Once again, Rod Gilpin, head coach of the men's basketball team. I'm Marty Rourke, Sports Information Coordinator here at Bishop's University. Remember, you can get all your Gators information anytime at www.gators.ca. Thank you.